New information has come to light in the George Floyd case. A grandfather and his grandson died in a house fire, and a lawsuit has been filed against former President Donald Trump.
That and more today on APSU-TV News. Welcome to the latest episode of APSU-TV News. I'm Bartee.
And I'm LaTriah Fletcher with your weekly news.
New information in the case of one of the former Minneapolis police officers accused in the death of George Floyd. Thomas Lane, who had pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter in Floyd's killing, has been sentenced to 3 years in prison. Prosecutors say Lane held down Floyd's legs as he cried out that he couldn't breathe. Another former officer, Derek Chauvin, had his legs on Floyd's neck for 9.5 minutes. Lane pleaded guilty in May to a state charge of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. State prosecutors and Lane's attorney had jointly recommended a 3-year sentence.
It appears a house fire that claimed the lives of a grandfather and his 3-year-old grandson was a tragic accident. Knoxville Fire Assistant Chief Mark Wilbanks says crews found the man and the toddler trapped inside the burning home. Emergency teams rushed them to the hospital where they later died. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but no foul play is suspected.
New York Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump. The suit alleged that the former president engaged in years of financial fraud to enrich himself, his family, and the Trump Organization. New York Attorney General LaTriah James says their investigation has found that Trump and his family and the Trump Organization used fraudulent and misleading asset violations over 200 times in 10 years on his annual financial statements. James said Trump enlisted the help of his children, Donald Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, and other defendants to unlawfully inflate and deflate his net worth by billions. These charges in Trump's net worth allegedly allowed him to get his personal loans and pay lower taxes.
It could soon be easier for some immigrant families to reunite with their relatives in the United States. The Biden administration announced this week the U.S. Embassy in Cuba will start processing full immigrant visas early next year. Full immigrant visas were last processed in Havana 5 years ago. The U.S. government will also stop requiring Cubans seeking visas in family preference categories to travel to Guyana for their interviews. Officials say the U.S. has committed to ensuring the legal migration of at least 20,000 Cubans each year, not including the immediate relatives of U.S. citizens. We will return with weather after the break.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
You want change. You want a community that supports you. You want the knowledge it takes to make a difference in this world. It's time to be more. It's time to be better. It's time to grow. The world you want to see starts with you. The life you want begins at Austin Peay State University. Learn more at apsu.edu.
And welcome back with the weather. We're currently looking at 72 degrees, and moving on to tonight, we'll drop down to 58 degrees with a low precipitation of 5%. And then to go over to the 5-day forecast, it'll look pretty good over the next few days. The high will be, the highest we'll see over the next 5 days will be 85, and that's Sunday. Rolling into the next week, we'll see a high of 77, which gives us the fall weather vibes. And that's all for the weather.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Good afternoon, Jahmar-Perkins here. I want to apologize for the technical difficulties. Had to throw a little audible real quick. But speaking of audible, jumping into our football team, they went down south to take on the Alabama A&M Bulldogs and won 28-3 in a great defensive effort where they got 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. Now with a 3-0 record, they look to take on the Eastern Kentucky Colonels, which will be our homecoming game, but it has much bigger implications with it being our first ASUN conference opener. And also, it's a top 25 ranked matchup in the FCS with the Colonels being at 16 and the Governors at 23. Kickoff starts at 3 in the afternoon, but tailgating starts at 1, and you do not want to miss that. Scholarship giveaways, photo booths, and a free car smash. Yes, a free car smash will be all included for the ultimate fan experience. Moving on, another ASUN opener will be taking place for the women's volleyball team today at 5 against Bellarmine and tomorrow before the football team hosts the Colonels. The Governor volleyball team will be traveling to Eastern Kentucky to try and start a 2-sport sweep. The team is currently on a 3-game win streak after winning all 3 of their Stashville Challenge games, so the momentum will definitely be on their side as they travel. The women's soccer team has already started conference play with an unfortunate loss this Saturday and ended up taking a second loss in a row at Central Arkansas 1-0 last night. So with some work to do, the Govs soccer team will travel to play North Alabama this Sunday at 1 p.m. and Bellarmine at home next Thursday at 6 p.m. Lastly, as far as Austin Peay goes, my favorite sport of the year, basketball, can be seen soon as the Govs Madness event is set to start in a couple weeks. Some of you may remember it from last year. It's pretty much a showcase that involves three-point shooting, dunk contest, and an on-court scrimmage for both teams. There will also be a giveaway and a meet and greet with the players. Now, when is this, you ask? You got a little bit of time to request off work because it's going to be October 20th, 6 p.m. at the Dunn. So come on out for a taste of what these seasons have to come. Jumping away from Austin Peay, the Tennessee Titans have had a rough start to their season, dropping their first two games against the Giants and the Bills. Now they will look to protect their home front against another surprising winless team, being the Raiders, this Sunday with the kickoff at noon. Now, as far as baseball goes, from what I've learned is that most people in the Tennessee area are either St. Louis Cardinal fans or Atlanta Braves fans. And if that applies to you, you have a reason to smile because both of those teams are in the postseason picture, but will have to go through some tough teams, including the Dodgers and the Mets, to even get a chance at the World Series. That's going to do it for me tonight. Friday Night Lights, Northeast High hosts Clarksville High, by far the game of the city, and two really good running backs on each team will be out there. So if you need some plans, 7 o'clock is kickoff, but stay tuned. We have more news coming up on APSU-TV.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
Welcome back to the news. New plans for Nashville Yards include a luxury cinema and private spaces. Nashville Yards reports on their website that the 18-acre entertainment and work destination will now feature a movie theater and entertainment spaces. Plans include a 12-screen luxury dine-in theater, 8 lanes of bowling, and virtual reality experiences. This project is expected to be finished by late 2024.
They Call Me Big Pumpkin is making its return this year, promising to be bigger and better. The event will be held on September 24th, tomorrow at the Kings Bluff Brewery on University Avenue, starting at 3 in the afternoon. Blocker Farms will be there with a pumpkin patch, along with Paint Your Own Pumpkin Table, Dunk the Beer Lord, live music, and food trucks. That's all the time we have for you today. Be sure to follow us at Facebook at APSU-TV, Clarksville, and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching APSU TV News. And as always, let's go Peay.